Hey guys, EST here, back with another great video, and this time it's about something you may be doing wrong when it comes to canned foods. There is some good news with canned foods lately as of about 2021, and that's the new BPA-free liner that can last a lot longer, so that's cool. Should get better shelf life out of stuff made recently. Gotta look for the little seal that says BPA-free, they'll usually put it on there if it's true. I'm not sure if it's been like an industry trend or actually mandated by law yet, but the old liner was not very good. It would break down over time, and then you'd only get, maybe an extra 5, 10 years, maybe more if you're lucky. Now, these should last just about forever is what people are saying, but of course, we don't know till we see it. So that's the good news. Here's the bad news. Well, we got some beans, which beans are high calorie, right? And they're vegetables, so they should have all kinds of vitamins and minerals, and what a great thing to stock up on. Well, let's see. Calories. 20 if you don't drain it, and 15 if you do drain it, and then 3.5 servings. So, let's say you drink the disgusting bean water. Well, 3.5, you're at 70 calories for the whole can. Remember, if you're an adult male that's moderately active, you need about 2,000 to 2,500 calories per day. So how many of these cans would you have to eat in a day? And the answer is, you would die from the sodium first. So this is basically useless, and you may think, oh, yeah, okay, well, I'll keep some fruit and vegetables around just for the nutrients. Well, if you look at the nutrient section, which, my God, how did I buy a dented can? That's one thing you don't want to do, because it can, the dent can get through the liner, and then it'll rust out. Because I'm eating these today. Vitamin D, nothing. Calcium, basically nothing. Iron, basically nothing. And potassium, basically nothing. Fantastic. Wish they'd list more on there, but I think the most likely to be in there, or the most prevalent ones are the ones that make the list. I don't really know. I couldn't find much extended information past what's on here because I guess they don't want to disclose it, but let's just say I don't think there's a bunch of vitamin C in there that we don't know about. But then you might think, okay, well, vegetables, yeah, they're terrible, cool, great, let's go to fruit. So we got mixed fruit here from Myers. No sugar added, which is obviously not what you'd want to get, but I bought these to, eat because I'm trying to lose weight. So, let's see how this one weighs in. 110 for the whole can, right there. So 3 servings, 3 times 30 is, of course, 110, as we all know. I guess that's why it says about three servings per can. But yeah, most of it's sugar. Fruit is actually just full of sugar. It's usually fructose instead of like full-blown, refined sugar like from a cane, but it's still not great for you. It's still not a great source of energy compared to like starch. And still, calcium, iron, potassium, non-existent. Literally 0, 0, and 2% of what you need in a day. That's nothing. At 110 calories, nothing. And I don't even see vitamin C on here. Now, I do wonder what it would be if it was on here. Vitamin A as well. I think that comes in carrots and certain types of fruit. But, boy, I wouldn't pick up either of these. Just think about it. You got a whole pantry full of these. You got, 3 days worth of food? And you can't eat that much of this in one day. So you'd be eating this, you'd feel kind of full, and then you'd still be losing weight, and you'd still be tired and cold and out of energy because it's just not enough calories to get through the day. So these are both absolutely terrible. I wouldn't even touch vegetables and fruits, especially even for their nutritive value, because it would appear that there is none unless there's something that's not disclosed on these labels that I don't know about. So those are out. Let's move on to just corn, okay? Because that is, we got the high fructose corn syrup that's made out of corn. Corn is just one giant gob of sugar, basically. It's just a big starch bomb. Well, it's better. It's not that much better. The color and the ink isn't that much better, I'll tell you that. But in case you can't read it, it's 70 times 3.5. So, was that upwards of 300-ish? Okay, 300 a can, that's more than we've seen. That's triple what the fruit was. So yeah, if you were to get something, I would get corn, but there's just nothing on this, on the bottom here. It's vitamin D, nothing. Calcium, a tiny percent. Oh, 0%, pardon me. Well, that was tiny. Iron, 2%, which is pretty low for a, grown vegetable, my God. But, commercially farmed, they aren't going to bother to put iron down because the plant doesn't need it. If it had it, would it put it in the corn? Yes. But, it doesn't need it to grow. It needs nitrogen, so that's what they put down, just saying. I don't know too much about this kind of stuff. I'm not a nutritionist or gardening expert, but I do know a little bit. And potassium, just a little tiny bit, which if you grew, corn or really any of this stuff, green beans, peas, any of that in your garden, I could almost guarantee it'll be 5 to 10 times as nutritive as anything from a bulk farm, because they just do things different. They pick a lot of tomatoes and stuff before they're ripe, and then they don't develop, half the complex sugars, any of the good acids, which is usually the vitamin compounds, and they just ship them green, so if you get vine ripened stuff, cool, but that's not usually what they can. And then also, I think what they do with these cans is they heat them up and pressure can a lot of them, at least if it has meat in it, they would. And once they get it to a certain temperature, it kills everything, including botulism. So I don't think there's one in America that doesn't do that. I mean, I think they heat them all up. But for this price per can, I'm kind of wondering. So I don't know. I would just assume they all are. But then if you get this up to 230 degrees or whatever for 10 minutes, you're going to destroy a lot of the nutrients in it. That's just how it works. So I think that might have something to do with like the really low counts of anything you would expect to be in here, because I think like vitamin molecules are really sensitive to heat. I could be wrong though. So I mean, I guess we'll throw out mixed vegetables. I mean, potatoes, just think potato chips, fries, those are a ton of calories because of the oil. So I mean, this is everything. Got lima beans in there, you get carrots, should have vitamin A. I guess it doesn't have any of that or calories or any value in your diet. So I mean, 30 times 3.5 is nothing. Was that 105 or whatever? Yeah. It's got some fiber. It's got a ton of salt. So even if you wanted to eat 10 of these, you couldn't. It would be so much salt, you would just become dangerously dehydrated. Probably damage your kidneys at that level. And sugars are almost nothing. Protein is almost nothing. And then you go to the bottom, there's basically nothing significant in here. A little bit of calcium, a little bit of potassium, a tiny bit of iron that's just barely enough to make a difference in your diet. But wow, this is an embarrassment right here. And it's potatoes. Like, how weird is that? So, I mean, if you want to go real premium, we got just solid meat. It's just a solid block of meat. And 25% less sodium. Spoiler alert, in the entire can, there's still 3 grams, which is, I think, like a triple overdose of the daily limit that a human can handle. So, buy lowered sodium, obviously. Here it is. Let's see here. So, 180 calories times 6 servings. So that's just over 1,000, I believe. I did the math. I think it's like 1080, 1050, something like that. I mean, there's fat in here. There's protein in here. There's a little bit of oil. There's a ton of sodium. I mean, look at that, 25% per serving. Yikes. So multiply that by 6. You really shouldn't even eat one of these in a day, so there's that. But it's got complex proteins. There's actually multiple animals in here, so I can't imagine it doesn't cover the entire spectrum of amino acids that you need, which is like subgroups of proteins that don't typically come from vegetables. So like, this is huge, but I know all of last year, these were like $5.50 can, and they were sold out everywhere, which is ridiculous. Now they're starting to come back at some of the more discount stores and hardware stores, at least in Wisconsin. We can get these for about $2 and change, like high $2, $2.80, somewhere around there. I think I've seen them on sale for like 2 for $5. Not bad. I mean, I'd get a couple of them just for protein. I don't like that there's a pop top though, because they have built in a weakness in the metal. Not good, not smart. So, I mean, okay, 1,000 calories a can, we're already beating it. What else do we have? Well, we got beans. Everybody knows beans are much less healthy for you in that they have a lot of calories, but we're going for a lot of calories, so that's the point. I did get the 98% fat-free. Like I said, these were just to, like, eat. These weren't for long-term storage. Otherwise, I would buy what I'm about to reveal later in the video as the perfect thing to buy. Beating even Spam, by the way. This is, let's see, 120 calories times 3.5, so not bad at all. That's 420 calories total per can, and these cans could be, $1 to $2, so that's pretty good. But boy, you eat a whole can, that's going to be a lot of fiber that's going to speed up your digestive system, which means that you don't get as much calories out of the food you eat because it's just absolutely flying through you because your body's just like, alarms going off, oh my gosh, this is not something I can eat. It's usually, what do they call it? Plant cellulose. We don't have the ability to digest that as humans. It's actually really hard to break down. I mean, there's a reason cows eat grass, but then they have like however many stomachs. More than a couple. It's up there. It's like 9 or something. I feel like being from Wisconsin, I should know that. But just from sheer calories, I mean, you get a little bit of sugar in the sauce. Okay, it's tomatoes, but like I said, like mass farm tomatoes are devoid of any kind of nutrients pretty much. So I mean, yeah, I would get beans before I got anything else. But still, it has its downsides. And on the nutrient side, I mean, you get 8% iron and 4% calcium. It's not nothing. It's like 10 times what was in some of the other ones, but it's still not great. 0 vitamin A, 0 vitamin C. So it's not great, but it's calories. And by the way, non-BPA liner. Look at that. There you go. That's what you want to look for. This thing will last like forever. No pop top. No, etched in weakness in the can. So let's step it up to soups, because soups, I mean, that's interesting. None of that, lean whatever soup. We're getting the hearty, chunky, it's got meat, vegetables, and sauce and sugar in it. You get all kinds of food groups and all that. It should be better for you, right? 13 grams of protein per can. I mean, hey. And, boy, I couldn't believe this. I saw these on sale for $1 a can. These are usually, like $2 to $3, at least in the fancy grocery stores. I mean, they were just clearing these out. I was kind of wondering if these were close to expiring or something. Now, by the way, this isn't exactly apples to apples because this is 18.8 ounces, and some of the vegetables were like 12-ounce cans or 10-ounce cans, but still. I mean, this is night and day. You can see 290 per can. Well, that's not great. Still, it's not that high, really. You break it down, a lot of sodium, but it's got more diverse nutrients in it. But then as far as just like important nutrients, like vitamins and minerals, it's not terrible. Like potassium, it's 15%. Iron, it's 10%. That's kind of nice. It's probably because it's got red meat in it, obviously. Calcium, 6%. Vitamin D, still none. Okay, I mean, it's got, 6 grams of protein, a little bit of oil, a little bit of, just fats, all that. Sodium's not completely out of control, I guess. It's still bad. It's 1.7 grams in the whole can, so you'd have trouble even eating 2 of these in a day. So with it only hitting 300 calories, I mean, this wouldn't be the first place I go, and like I said, these tend to be kind of expensive. They are produced in America, though, so you can get that quality, but they also have the pop top, which, like I said, is a built-in weakness in the can, and it's on the top where any kind of condensation or water damage would happen, so just generally not ideal as a product all around. So what should you be buying? Well, obviously beans is number one, but any kind of chili mix with actual meat in it. And unfortunately, while rating my entire pantry, this is the closest I could come up with, which is basically just more beans, let's be honest. There's no meat in it. It's got a little bit meatier sauce. It's got a chili sauce, probably a little bit more sugar because it's more like a barbecue sauce, but I've seen stuff with about double the calories of this, so I'll just throw that out there. And this is only 15 ounces too, by the way. Really nice can. It's actually like some kind of brass mix or something. It's pretty tough. But this is 3.5 servings of 120. So I thought, oh, okay, I mean, that's, we've seen that. It's pretty much the same as the other beans. It doesn't even clear 500 there, but, it's decent for what you pay. I think these are right around $1 or just over it. A lot of the good chili mixes are like $2 a can, but I saw some chili showed off on another channel. It was like 700 or 800 calories a can, and it was really cheap. And it had meat in it, which means that for sure I mean, I can't imagine they didn't do it. They pressure canned it, got it up to a certain temperature to kill botulinum, and then, made sure it was super good. Because meat is a lot more sensitive. You really do heat pack meat. So this still has, a bit of sodium, and it's not great for you. It's pretty much every canned food you're going to run into that, which is why you should probably just have your own, rice. And you can pour this over rice, by the way, which is nice. So I like the bean-heavy but meat-in chilies that you can mix with rice or noodles, and then have way more rice and noodles. Because one bag, so I'd say about, weight and volume-wise, maybe 4 of these cans stacked on a shelf. One bag like that of rice in Mylar is about 4,000 to 5,000 calories. So just not even on the same planet. You talk about rice starch, and that's like what the whole thing is made out of. Oh my gosh. Then you get the fortified rice where they purposely put iron and a couple other things, niacin, B vitamins. They coat the outside of the kernel with that. Or the grain. It's not really kernel. I don't know. It's just canned foods can't even touch long shelf life rice sealed in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. So go check out that video if you want to learn how to make it yourself. I think it ended up being just over $200 for like a third or a quarter, like half a year worth of food or something like that. I think I spent about $400 doing a pretty good mix of noodles and rice. And I hit like 400,000 calories pretty easily, but I wasn't exactly tracking the cost, but it was under $500, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, that's pretty reasonable for that sheer number of calories. Now, there's more to it than calories, and food fatigue and flavor fatigue is a very severe problem. So you do want to mix in some cans with it. It's just the first place I go would not be fruit and vegetables. And I wish I had a good example here, but I mean, you go flipping some labels around, turn some cans around at the grocery store, and just find the, I guess, effectively unhealthiest, heartiest, high-calorie chili mix that you can get, preferably, like I said, with meat in it. And the meat and beans, it's going to cut down on the fiber, it's going to up the protein. I mean, that's the ideal food right there. So if you get a bunch of, like, chili dog mixes, kind of like a concentrate that's meant to go over noodles, any kind of thing like that, in a can, that is where you want to head first, because it's going to be thick, it's going to have sugar, protein, and fat. It's just going to be great. It's going to be absolutely slam-packed full of sodium, but it is what it is. I mean, it's good calories. It's in a nice, hard container. So if you're gonna focus on long-term food storage in cans, I would go to chili and beans first before I go to vegetables and fruit. So just watch out for that. I know probably halfway through this video you paused it and you went to go look at your pantry and you're like, oh my god, our entire pantry adds up to 4,000 calories. That's 2 days worth of food. Holy crap. Well, don't panic. Just go make a chili run. And, nothing has to be urgent. Everybody's like, oh, I got to rush out and get 8 water filters and this and that. And this. I got to get everything in a fire starter. And it's a $10,000 list of gear that I need tomorrow. I mean, wait for it to go on sale. It's like, yeah, who knows? It might be a hurricane tomorrow. But, you don't have to go crazy with it, go into debt, max out your credit cards or any of that. Just pick it up as is necessary, shift some stuff around in your budget. Just say, you know what? Maybe my long-term safety is more important than this trip or this vacation or this thing I was going to buy or a new TV or whatever. Maybe I could buy, an inverter and a couple battery packs and a solar array or whatever instead of this. It's all about prioritizing. Don't feel pressured to just be like, oh, I need to fix this immediately and just go crazy with it. And canned goods, it's like, hey, just throw 6 extra cans, a dozen extra cans in your cart every time you go grocery shopping. Adds a couple bucks to the the total, and then pack them away and then eat them, rotate them, that kind of stuff. So it is one of the more casual things. That's why it's popular, and that's why I wanted to make a video clearing up that not all canned foods are valuable and not all canned foods are created equal. Unless you want to lose weight, then go get all the fruit mixes and green beans as you want. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time.